the affair. Oh, no, ma'am. Hey, what is up, society? It is your favorite wannabe influencer and Sovereign Koi, and welcome back to another Reddit story video. You already know we're getting back into it with these crazy stories, these crazy titles, baby. So if you're ready for the reactions, if you're ready for the stories, then let's just get right into it, baby. Lego. First story. Entitled Woman in Doctor's Office. This is a new one for me, y'all. I've never done the entitled ones post yet, so let's get into it. I hadn't encountered entitlement until this woman. I had a doctor's appointment and I filled out all my required information online. So when I got to the office, all I had to do was check in with the receptionist for my doctor. One woman was at the window, so I got behind her to wait. After a couple of minutes, I noticed the receptionist and the woman weren't interacting. The receptionist had turned away and was on her computer. Then I realized this woman was filling out all her paperwork while standing at the window. Instead of taking it and sitting down, she was standing there blocking the window and filling out the multi-page form. I coughed a couple of times. Hello, get out of the way. To no avail. Finally, the receptionist at the other window took pity on me. Even though she doesn't handle my doctor, she texted me in. Luckily, there weren't any other patients waiting to sign in because I'm sure she would have done the same thing. The entitled woman finally finished filling out her paperwork and plopped down all her stuff in one seat and sat down, huffing with impatience. Everything about her screams entitled. Girl, why did you give us this anticlimactic ass story? Girl, I'm thinking this girl gonna be like, you checking in, and she gonna be like, excuse me, put her hand in your face and move you out the way. That's what I thought she was gonna do. Girl, girl, coughing a few times, I'd be like, excuse me, ma'am, I need to check in. Girl, speak up for yourself. Speak up. She definitely is entitled, though. She probably was definitely giving Karen. The receptionist more than likely was ignoring her because she already probably gave her attitude. Like, people like this are so strange to me because it's like they think like because you're in their face or they're in your face that them standing there is going to intimidate you or something. Baby, I get paid by the hour. Well, I did. In these type of situations, I get paid by the hour. You can stand here all day. I will be clocking out at 5 o'clock. Hello? Like, I don't really get this story. So because this story was so lame, I'm gonna give y'all an actual entitlement story. So I was looking at Forever 21. Y'all can skip to whatever timestamp I put up for the next story. I was working at Forever 21 and I was a manager. This lady had came in on a Saturday. Now, if you know anything about retail, baby, Saturdays be booming. Okay, especially at Forever 21 when I worked there. This lady came in at like the very time that we opened up on Saturday, like at 10 a.m. Now it gets wild around like 12, more than likely. But like 10, it's kind of like, okay, we're starting to get a few people in. She came in, bought a dress for her daughter, was super cool, easy lady, okay? I thought that she was a lovely customer. Baby, psychosis, baby, psych, what do you mean, okay? Literally fast forward like 2 hours later, the line is out the ass, okay? It's just me and then one other freaking manager. It was just two of us and then maybe one of my girls on the register, right? I think it was just us two. Oh my God, we are swamped. I'm talking about swamped. I mean, it's like a 20-minute late wait in line because literally all the girls called out. It's just me and one manager and probably one girl on the floor amongst all these freaking customers. We probably had 1,000 transactions that day. I don't know if it was around the holiday or whatever. Literally this long ass line. People are waiting so patiently. People are being so nice. It's going great. Next thing you know, here comes the lady. I'll call her Polly. Polly comes herself up in there and tries to call herself skipping everybody in line. I mean, everyone, okay? She literally hauls ass, and I'm in the middle of a transaction now, and she comes over and she's just like, hi. I was just sitting back there. I came here a few hours ago. And I was like, yeah, I remember you. She's like, yeah, I came here a few hours ago. This dress doesn't fit, and I need to return it. And I was looking like, me, all the customers are looking at each other because we're just like, does she not see this long line full of people? So, I had to lead her a little bit. I said, okay, you must be a little blind, even though, you need these. Anyways, I said, you must be a little blind. If you haven't noticed, Polly, there's about 30 other people in line waiting to be checked out. You'll have to wait. Oh, baby, it's like I almost told her that I'm going to strangle her cat or something. Like, she was like, what? And no, I was here earlier and I bought this dress and it's not my fault that the dress didn't fit and my daughter needs to return it and da-da-da. And I was literally like, I was proud of myself, y'all, because I didn't get irritated with her. I was just like, yes, I understand that, you did not want to buy the dress for the wrong size. It's not your fault. XYZ didn't work. You want to return. I understand that. However, it is a busy Saturday. If you have not noticed, I'm the only one up here. And there are multiple other people waiting in line. You will have to wait. This went on for like maybe 2 minutes until I eventually told her, no, I'm not going to do the return. You need to go to the back of the line. She eventually did it, right? Literally, she was going back and forth with me so long, like that her daughter literally was like, Mom, stop being a Karen. And she just turned to her and said, don't tell me what to do. Don't act like that. You're being sassy. And then turn back to me. I was just like, listen to your daughter because you're definitely being a Karen. She eventually went back to the back of the line. Okay. She didn't end up getting checked out by me. I think that she just ended up leaving. She left, and then the very next day, you finished up all the transactions. The customers was like, girl, she had about maybe 30 more seconds to keep on going. I was about to say something to her. And I said, no, I got it. I know how to do what I rate people. She came in the very next day, and I think that I came in maybe a little bit later or something, but she came in the next day. I was on the register once again, and literally she comes up, and I bolted from the register. When I say bolted, I mean dip, okay? Left. Juked it out of there, and I ran back to my manager, and I said, hey, listen, we'll call her Sweet. I said, Sweet, I'm not dealing with it. Go ahead and go deal with Miss Polly out there, because I'm not dealing with her. Had to deal with her yesterday. No, ma'am, Pam. So literally, Sweet went out there, and literally like maybe 2 minutes later, not even, she called me on the walkie, and she was like, Coy, I need you to come to the register. And I was just like, baby, don't even try me today, because I'm not having it. I was nice with her yesterday, baby. She gonna get the horns today. I go out there, and Polly is just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming out here. Thank you so much for being so patient with me yesterday. I'm so sorry for how I acted. I was so nasty. I was so like rude to you, and I shouldn't have been like that. I am so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. I mean, I understand it's a frustrating situation. It was really busy, XYZ. And she was like, no, I'm so apologetic. I was being such a Karen, XYZ. And then she was like, and I just have a gift for you. And she handed me a book. And I was just like, oh, this is nice. I mean, I like to read. No worries. I said, okay, thank you. Appreciate it. And she said, I just hope that you know that you're an amazing manager. You handled that situation so well. I appreciate the way that you treated me, even though I was being irate. Thank you. And I said, of course. Have a good day. Okay. I take the book. I was just gonna be like, hey, maybe it's laced with Coke. I don't know. Maybe trying to poison me. But I was like, you know what? I'll take the book. Beautiful, beautiful book, by the way. And when I went back to the office, the book felt a little thick. So I was just like, what's in here? I opened it. Baby, why does they give me a $50 music gift card? You see when the Lord says, let me save you. You see, that's why you listen to the Lord. This is why you listen to the Lord, okay? Because look at me, made $50K, baby, made $50 off a little mean Karen, okay? So she was entitled at first, but she redeemed herself. So, yeah. Moving on to the next story. Timestamp up here somewhere, I don't know. Moving on. I, 19 female, feel very overwhelmed because of my baby. And I don't know how to tell my husband, 22 male, how I feel right now. What is the best way I can try to tell him without upsetting him? Baby girl, your first mistake was having a baby at 19. Married and baby? 19? What do you know about life? Get into the story, Coy. Okay. I got married maybe about a year ago. I have a son that is 7 months old now, and I do love him, but it's very hard. I'm also pregnant. No judgment zone over here. I ain't saying nothing. I'm also pregnant, maybe about 2 weeks now, and apparently it's a girl. You know that after 2 weeks? Continuing. But I don't really like thinking about it. I know it's my role to be a good mother, but I'm not. Everyone is really happy about it. My parents love him, but he doesn't really feel like my child sometimes. Which sounds stupid, because obviously I gave birth to him. But when he cries, I just want to forget about him. And I can't, because I'm afraid of what that could do. But I wish I could. I'm also so tired. He's always awake and always hungry. And I'm horrible at breastfeeding, so that just makes him more upset. They say he's fine. I'm not starving him or anything, but I feel like I am sometimes. I'll wait to the end. My parents and I moved to America from Russia when I was 13 years old. Back home, my parents weren't very religious. We only went to church. They weren't strict about it. I also had a lot of ambition. I thought I was going to be able to do what I wanted. I wanted to do ballet for as long as I could and then maybe work in medicine because I was very interested in it. I hated the change. I didn't like anything about it. I wanted to be home again. And then, when my parents joined the church, it was so much worse. I thought it was going to be like the one at home, but it was nothing like that. After that, my parents became very strict. They stopped letting me do things I used to do at home, or wear things that I used to. And it was very difficult because I didn't have any friends at all, and I had trouble talking and understanding people. I thought it would get better, but it never really did. While my language improved, nothing else did. So what, they forced you? Did they force you into a marriage with this man? Because what? Sometimes there's good days and I'm happy with the baby and I love him, but sometimes I wish that this had never happened. I know it's horrible and I'm so lucky to have him, but I'm very tired. Girl, that's not horrible to say. Continuing. I don't sleep at all some days, or I end up just sleeping on the floor sometimes, which makes me worry about the pregnancy too. My husband isn't a bad person. He's happy about the pregnancy, which makes him nicer. What you mean by nicer? He mean to you? Hey, ring, call us up. I'm sorry. Continue. Which makes him nicer, and he likes my cooking, which is nice because sometimes I worry it's too foreign for him. But he doesn't really help with the baby. How is he not a bad person if you don't help with the baby? Okay, let me continue. Maybe it's silly to say that I expect that, but sometimes I just want him to watch the baby for a couple of minutes so I can be sick and not worry about him at the same time. I'm sorry, just to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not, I ain't gonna get too upset, okay? This man put this thing in your body, and you don't think that he has to help with that? Girl, that's not silly. Cult. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an arranged marriage. Cult. Continuing. He just doesn't really know how to help me, but I also don't really know how to help myself either. Baby, if you don't go to YouTube University, put on Miss Rachel, quit playing. I'm sorry. I'm getting upset. I'm scared of making him upset, but I'm becoming really worried about what I'm going to do with both the baby and the one that I'm pregnant with. I don't know how I can tell him this because I get really nervous about it because I know I should be doing better and managing, but I'm just not, and I don't know what to do. Fuck it, I'm mad. Bitch! Not you, OP. Love you to death. Sweetheart, you have been, what's the word, y'all? When somebody takes your brain and literally just shapes it in a way that makes you think that what's happening is okay when it's not. I can't think of the word. It's on the tip of my dang head, okay? It's not manipulated, but I'm just going to say that. You've been manipulated, okay? You have literally been molded into believing that this is normal. Bitch, you're 19. Shame on your family. Shame on them. I don't care. Shame. Why are you married? Why are you pregnant again when you already have a 7-month-old? Like, damn, you couldn't give my girl a break? And then you're not helping because she don't know what to do. Girl, excuses. Baby, YouTube University. Go ahead, turn on Gracie's Corner. Put on Miss Rachel. What are you talking about? Baby, you can even take it old school. Okay, PBS Kids. Hell you mean he don't know what to do? You figuring it out? What makes you think that he don't have to figure it out too? He's their damn father. Baby, let me tell you what you do. I don't know if I want to say divorce on this one because I don't got enough context on the husband, but sweetheart, this is giving toxic in a way that I just can't explain. Like, I am very unsettled for you. Like, bring it up to him that he needs to help you. Bring it up. I don't even understand why you need to even bring that up. I really don't even understand why you need to bring that up. I don't know why men thought at the beginning of time that you're not responsible for this child also. What makes y'all think that? Like, it is so insane to me. Back in the day, I don't get how y'all thought, oh, I just get to impregnate you and now that's your responsibility. How did you compute that in your brain? Especially if you have a son. What the fuck can I teach him about being a man? I am female. The hell? Child. OP, go ahead and I want to say the D word so bad. Talk to your husband, okay? I don't know why you would be scared because you're saying that he's, like, the things that you're saying is making me feel like he's not a good husband, not a good person. Because why would you be afraid to talk to him about something like that? And why are you saying that when you cook or whatever, or when you're pregnant, he's nicer to you? What does that even mean? Shouldn't he be nice all the time? Why is he nicer when you're vulnerable, in your most vulnerable state? Maybe it's just me. I don't like that wording that you're using, that basically he's nicer, like he's being mean to you, or he doesn't appreciate you, or he's not really being there for you. And to be honest, he's not, because how are you not taking care of your own kids? And, getting off of him for a second, OP, what you're saying is perfectly normal. And this is the reason why I stress to the utmost high all the time how important it is that we stop having babies young. Just getting off of him for a quick second. I stress this so very much, just because it's just not a smart idea. We need to stop having babies young. It's just not it. I'm sorry. People gonna chew me up in the comments. I don't give a damn. You shouldn't be having a baby before you're the age of 25. It is ridiculous. It is pure insanity. You're overwhelmed because you're a baby. You're overwhelmed because you literally have not been an adult for 4 seconds. And now all of a sudden you have to give up all these sacrifices, have to literally go above and beyond, be a parent. Like, and I don't think people realize the magnitude of parenthood. It's beyond the baby stuff. The baby stuff to me is easy. That's the easy part. Baby, you still got 17 years to go. Actually, a lifetime when you think about it. Because it doesn't matter how old your kids get, they're still going to want their parents. They're still going to want to take advice from their parents, be around their parents. You never stop being a parent until you're dead. And even then, they're visiting your grave, telling you all about all their problems. I never understand why people want to give up their freedom that quickly. How do you even know what you want when you've been an adult for 2 seconds? And this whole idea of, I don't want to be old and have kids. Why not? What is up with that? Like, it is such a weird, warped way of thinking. It is such a weird, warped way of thinking to me, because like, how in your mind do you think, oh, I don't want to be an old parent? Why not? I've even heard people say, I don't want to be an old grandparent. Bitch, what are you talking about? What do you mean? The whole point of being a grandparent is to be old. What is wrong with y'all? I still want to be kicking. I still want to be hucking and jiving with my kid when I'm young. Baby, just because you'll be in your 30s or whatever, when your kid's a teenager or close to that age, just because you'll be around that age does not mean that you'll be healthy. Does not mean that you're not going to have health problems or back problems, or that you're not going to be able to be shucking and driving with your fucking kids. Like, y'all sound like a bunch of buffoons. I'm going to give up my youth because I don't want to be too old for the other youth. Baby, I'm going to push that baby out and keep it pushing. Okay, however old I am is however old I am. Mama don't work like that. Mama don't spin like that. Mama don't groove like that. I ain't one of your little friends. You got a lot of energy. You better go ahead and spend that with somebody else. I ain't got time. Like, OP, what you're feeling is perfectly normal for somebody your age. Of course you're overwhelmed. Your undeveloped brain cannot process the amount of stress that you're under, because you're not supposed to be underneath that much stress at such a young age. Because you're supposed to be able to develop in a way without any type of distractions, or especially anything that big. And then you're going to have another one. What you're feeling is completely normal. I'm sorry that this happened to you. Quite literally, this is something that is happening to you. And to me, y'all, it's like a disease. It is like a disease now. This is my COVID. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is my COVID. Young mothers, because it's just like, why do we want that? Why don't you want your freedom? And it feels like this is like a very cult situation. So that's why I'm saying I'm so sorry that this is happening to you, because now you can't go back. Now you're a mama. So just know that you're not alone. What you're feeling is not abnormal. You're going to probably have to get yourself into some therapy, and you're going to have to just accept what is. Your youth, your underdeveloped brain really just cannot process what's going on, and it's overwhelmed. It's stressed out because you're supposed to be dealing with college stuff right now. You're supposed to be overwhelmed with, oh, what am I going to wear out to this brunch with my friends? That should be your worries. Oh, what I'm going to do for a career, where I'm going to spend my money on, what am I going to, rent an apartment with, what roommate am I going to get? That's the type of stuff you should be worrying about at this age. Not baby number 1 and 2 on the way. Talk to your husband, get into therapy. I'm praying for you. Moving on. Am I the asshole for refusing to host my husband's best friend and his family? Why can't he host them? What he doing? My husband has a childhood friend, both the same age. This friend had his wedding during COVID in 2020. Strict measures, you know the drill. Yeah. At that time, we were living abroad, so crossing borders was nearly impossible. When he got the invite, we only had been together for a few months, so it was a fresh relationship. They invited him alone. I was working in a COVID ward and managed to get him across the border as a worker in a private car, about an 8-hour journey. And I also got him a PCR test 2 hours before departure. I mention this because the whole arrangement wasn't easy. He attended the wedding with a gift, stayed with his parents, wedding was nearby. 4 years later, we're getting married in Chateau, about 4 years from both my friends and his family, so halfway, and invited the friend along with his wife and child. They said they'd come and make a trip out of it, exploring the area. He was the only friend from who we paid accommodations right at the venue, just like for the family. 5-star hotel. Oh, y'all got money in. Okay, come on, accommodations. I was already struggling with this, as we had already agreed not to cover accommodations for friends. It's also worth noting that his friend is a teacher, and the wedding was on a Saturday, a week before the end of the school year. A few days before the wedding, they called to say they wouldn't come because he couldn't get the leave for Monday, and it wasn't worth the trip for a few days. We ended up paying for the rooms because it was too late to cancel. We didn't receive a gift or even a congratulatory card from them. So wait, you paid for these rooms and then they just didn't come because he didn't get the leave for Monday? Okay. Today, they wrote saying they wanted to visit because they were going on an event in our city and would appreciate accommodations for them and his sister. Accommodations like what? Okay. I'm going to get sick because I don't see a reason to take leave, pick them up from the train station, and host them when I don't view them as friends anymore. No contact throughout the year, no birthday or name day wishes. Oh. My husband disagrees, saying it's his best friend and I'm preventing him from seeing him. Am I the asshole? So this is your husband's childhood friend. They're best friends. Husband went to his wedding. This friend said, I'm not coming to your wedding because the trip is not worth a couple of days, even though y'all were paying for their rooms. And now they want you to go out of your way to go and get him, even though they don't send you a card. They don't say congratulations. They don't say happy birthday. They don't call him. None of that. But now they want you to full blown accommodate them to take a trip just because they so happen to be in the city. Not because they want to see you. Just because they want something easy and convenient and they know that they could have convenience by inconveniencing y'all. No, I'm going to say that you're not the asshole. I'm going to say that you're not the asshole. Like, it would have been different if it was just like I can't make it because my son is sick or some childish thing like that. I don't know. Something like that. If it was something crazy, then I'd be like, okay, you couldn't get a day off of work, even though the school year is coming up. The wedding was on a Saturday. I understand that you don't want to go back to work, but it's just like your friend made a dire trip and went out of his way during COVID to come to your wedding because you was going to have to wake up for work the next day. You didn't want to go to the trip to support your friend. And now, when you don't even reach out to them, you don't talk to them. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there are friends out there where, you can not hear from them for a couple of months because, people be busy. But, you don't hear from them for a couple of months. And then, you hear from them every now and again. And then, boom, y'all still friends. I'm not saying that you can't be friends with somebody that you don't speak to every day. But if somebody is my best friend, I'm talking to them often. I'm checking in on them. I'm not forgetting their birthday. I'm not going to send them a card for their wedding. I'm not going to not do something. If I'm not going to come to my friend's trip, even though they're paying for me to go, if I am not going to go to my friend's wedding to support them, I'm going to at least do something for them. This friend didn't get you a gift, didn't get you a card, didn't say congratulations, literally just skipped out on your wedding just because they didn't want to have to be out on a trip over the weekend because they had work on Monday. Bitch, I would understand that if they were saying come out to the clubs. This is my friend's wedding. This is your friend's wedding. And I don't know. To me, you're not a best friend if you're not at least remembering their birthday. If you're not at least remembering to come out and talk to them. And I know men are weird, which I don't understand this. But men don't really talk to each other, which I don't get why. How is that your friend and you don't talk to them? But it's just like, I'm on your side, OP. I'm sorry. Y'all probably gonna chew me up in the comments. I don't give a fuck. Like, I am on her side because it just sounds really strange to me that you're so okay with them accommodating you, but you seem like you're not lifting a finger for them. You're not lifting a finger for him, at least. And he must be your friend. And I even be side-eyeing men in relationships because men be trying to make it seem like, oh, we're just guys. We're just chilling, XYZ. And that's why y'all have a high suicide rate because y'all can't talk to each other about serious shit. Your friend can't cry in front of you. Your friend can't tell you that he's struggling mentally. Your friend can't literally tell you that I'm literally losing my mental right now over something that might be small to you, but is big to them. Because y'all don't build intimacy. Y'all don't build actual relationships. Y'all just find some random dude, start chilling out with them, and then all of a sudden, all y'all buddies. But how can somebody be really your friend when you really can't have some type of vulnerable conversation or vulnerability with that person? Like, there's so many dudes who I've met who said that this dude is their best friend, don't even know their birthday. How is that your best friend? You don't know their birthday. What? So, OP, no, I'm not going to say that you're the asshole. You don't want to host them. You don't want to go out of your way for them. Y'all seem like y'all go out your way for them already. They don't appreciate it. So, no, I wouldn't want to do it either. You want to do that? You're doing it by your lonesome. Not helping. Not doing. No. There was a little mini update, y'all, where basically she's saying that the friend literally could have just drove the 4 hours there. Their freaking wedding was at 4 p.m. They could have just drove and then just went back home on Sunday. Maybe a 4-hour drive. Yes, that's crazy. But for my friend, and they pay for my hotel, and I could just leave the next morning? Bitch. You just being lazy. I'm sorry. I would get it if you was flying across the country. 4-hour drive. Okay. Then they had said that they reserved everything, paid for them, and then in her custom, they pay for their guests and everything like that. And then also that they just decided to tell the friends. The husband wasn't happy about it, but the husband agreed that the friend was gonna have to pay for their own hotel and everything like that, and then they could go out for dinner because they're not hosting them. Period. Good for you, and we're happy that your husband agreed. Thank God. Sometimes men can be so spineless. Whatever. Moving on. Am I the asshole for giving my boyfriend of 6 years an ultimatum? Girl, how old is y'all? My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for a little over 6 years now, since we were 18. We have made some pretty big moves towards our future recently, such as putting down a deposit on a house and being promoted in our careers. Come on, 24, get it together. We have been together for 6 years and practically act like a married couple, without the titles. We share finances and go on family holidays together, and both our families love one another. I have started to get a little sick of my boyfriend tiptoeing around the concept of proposing and getting married. Bit of background to this. While I was away at university, we spoke about a proposal, and he said that he would do it when I finished university. This was 2 years ago, and since then, he has promised me for 2 years that he will propose. Now it's getting to the point where I'm saying I don't care how it's done. I just want to be engaged to be married within a year or so. He constantly says how much he wants to marry me and create a future where we have our own little family. But every time I ask him what's stopping him, he always says he doesn't know. I thought the whole nervousness around proposing is not knowing how your spouse will react, but at this point, I'm practically begging for a proposal. Because of this, I gave him an ultimatum of either he proposes by the end of the year or I'll want to break up. Am I the asshole? I mean, I would say no. Like, y'all are young though. OP, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all are young. 24? I mean, I wouldn't want to be even engaged until I'm past the age of 25. 25 and above, okay? And I definitely don't want to be a wife before I'm 27. I just think it's so weird. Like 24, 25-year-old wife, not for me. But I mean, y'all around that cusp of y'all frontal lobe getting done, right? Getting done developing. I understand that it feels like it's a long time because you've been with him for 6 years. You've known him since he was 18. But to be fair, y'all were 18. And I know. It's 6 years, but it's like 18 though. You know what I'm saying? Like you were a kid, fresh out of high school. That's why I say not to get into serious relationships when you're young like that, because then this type of thing happens. The pressure of it all. You guys are both still very young. He's thinking about marriage and stuff like that, but I don't really think that it's that he doesn't want to marry you. I think it's more so that he's just young. And you know that girls mature faster than boys do. I honestly just gonna say that neither one of y'all are the asshole, to be honest. I just can't see it. I can't put that on him because he's 24. If he was 29, 34, then I'd be like, hey, get it moving. But because y'all are both still young, y'all started dating young. Granted, he is buying a house with you. Yeah, but it's just like with marriage, especially if you live in a certain state like mine, like Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, when you get married, y'all share each other's debts. So whatever your partner got going on, that directly affects you. Y'all have to be involved with that. So if you got back child support, or if you got a lot of credit card debt, all that stuff is joint. It is joint everything in Wisconsin. I don't know about other states, but in Wisconsin it's like that. So it's like that's even a bigger step because y'all can separate y'all accounts all the time. You can make a joint account and then separate the funds. It goes to separate accounts. Be done. Okay, a house is a little bit different. Y'all sticking to that. If y'all both names on a deed, y'all have to figure something out with that. So I don't even think that y'all should even bought a house or put a down payment down on a house. I don't even think y'all should even make moves like that. But I'm saying that he's not bogus or, that he's not the asshole here because it's like, this is why I stress so much not to be in relationships when you're young, because that pressure comes on automatically. Because if it's not pressure from your family or your friends, it's pressure from y'all too. Because it's just like, damn, we have been together for X amount of time. But when you really look at your life right now, y'all were kids when y'all started dating. And now, yeah, y'all are mid-aged adults. Y'all been adults for the past 6 years, but you've been adults for the past 6 years. You haven't been really able to live your life. It would be different if y'all started dating now and you were 30 and he didn't want to marry you. But it's like 6 years of adulthood and y'all also been in a serious relationship that whole time. So I personally wouldn't want to be married this young. He's probably feeling that way of just feeling pressured. And he's just feeling unsettled about taking that big step. And I just can't fault him for that. At the same time, though, I can't fault you for wanting what you want. If you say that you want to be married and he don't want that, then, go out there and find you somebody who's ready for that. And, typically date men who are older. 24, I would go for a man that's like 28, 28, 29 right now. That's probably where the men are going to start wanting to get married. And that's the time that I would want around to get married. If I was to ever get married, it's around like 30 years old, so that pressure is off of you. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, but that's my take. I don't think that you're the asshole for wanting what you want, and I don't think that he's the asshole for not wanting to get married, even though I still think it's really strange that y'all putting a down payment down on a house. Interesting. Also, tidbit. Men sometimes tell you what you want to hear in order to keep you. So he could be doing that too. Don't want to forget that. But yeah. Moving on. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my wife's best friend's wedding? You don't like the best friend? What's happening? My wife had an affair several years ago. I found out because her phone use suddenly skyrocketed. I investigated, saw the number on the bill, and figured out it was her ex. You must be old because you talking like an old person. But, okay. But, baby, not the ex! Continuing. She denied it, of course, which eventually led me snooping in her phone. Okay, come on, what is it, Inspector Gadget? Investor Gadget? Whatever, I think it's Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. Okay, sorry, I just aged myself real bad. I cut that out. We continuing. She had tried to cover her tracks. She didn't delete the text messages to her best friend describing everything, bragging about it, etc. Her friend was supportive, at times even encouraging her to continue the affair. Oh, no ma'am! No ma'am! No ma'am! Listen, I told my friend, don't tell me shit. Don't tell me stuff like that. Because I'm going to expose you. I'm going to tell you, hey, you either tell him or I am. Because if you're not happy, it's time to dip. Continuing. We reconciled since then, and things are pretty okay between us. But I still hold a lot of anger towards her friend, partially for encouraging her to do what she did, instead of telling her to do the right thing. I mean, I get that. And I think partly because our messages with her friend were the vehicle that delivered so much pain and torment to me. Even now, seeing her friend or hearing her name makes me think of the affair. Her friend is getting married in a few months and she's the maid of honor. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety surrounding the thought of having to attend. Finally, I decided I needed to protect myself. I will be miserable the entire time, and the idea of celebrating the marriage of a person who at the very least severely disrespected mine feels disgusting. I get that. When I told my wife that I had decided I wouldn't go, she became pretty upset. She said that she was hurt, but it felt more like anger to me. She basically shut down after that and had to talk to me. I explained my reasoning, my feelings, etc., and she kind of blew me off. For one, I don't feel like the villain. I didn't ask to feel this way. Her actions put me here. 2, she is the one who implicated her friend in the affair. If she hadn't done that, it wouldn't even be an issue. Also, I didn't imply that she couldn't or shouldn't go. I even encouraged her to attend and be a part of it, and offered to drive her there in front. Am I the asshole? No. I'm going to say no. Those are very, very valid feelings. Like, this friend, even encouraging her to cheat on you, for her to get married is wild. Like, hey, for her to get married is wild. And my thing is, I don't know what y'all marriage was like before your wife started cheating. I know that women are mainly emotional cheaters before we're physical cheaters. So maybe you weren't doing something as a husband. Maybe y'all just were having a rift in your marriage. I'm not blaming you for her cheating because her cheating was her own decision. But as best friends too, we get told everything. Our friends tell us everything, at least with women. Our friends tell us everything. We get the raw feeling of emotions and things like that. And so, maybe your wife was telling her things that you were doing that encouraged this friend to feel like she had to support her in a way that encouraged her to have an affair. Nevertheless, though, I'm just like, if you don't love somebody anymore, or somebody's not doing something for you, they're not communicating, they're not helping you, they're not being a good partner, why even stay with them and play in their face? Like, why not just leave them be? Why not just let them go, Honestly, OP, I think that you still have rage with your wife as well. It's the same thing with any other situation. Like, yes, I wouldn't want to be around a friend either, because the fact that you encouraged her, literally ripping my heart into pieces, is kind of crazy. Like, you encouraging it is so insane. Like, it's one thing to try to understand where your friend is coming from and trying to see like where her head is at and trying to get her on the right path, and not necessarily agreeing with what she's doing, but also not shaming her for doing it, trying to be a supportive friend. That's one thing, even though maybe I'm sorry, no. That's one thing, but you encouraging it, telling her, yeah, keep doing it, do it more, instead of encouraging her to work on the things with her husband, I just find that kind of crazy. I really don't give a fuck how terrible he was. That encouragement should have been driven towards her leaving if he was that bad. And he can't be that terrible because she's still with him. I wouldn't want to hear her name either because that's some really crazy behavior. Like you dead ass preying on my downfall, and it's like, dang, like what did I do to you? You know what I'm saying? But I think that you should get a divorce from your wife, not because you hate her, not because she's a bad person or anything like that, but just because I think that not only are you still holding on to the resentment of what her friend did, I think you're also holding on to the resentment of what your wife did. Your frustration shouldn't really be with the friend. It should be with your wife. Because that friend was only there to encourage her because your wife was able to be encouraged. She stepped herself into that betrayal on her own without the help of her friend. So I think that you need to choose you fully and divorce your wife and just start fresh. Because you're gonna always see her as a disrespectful woman. And you're gonna always be, untrustworthy of your wife and feeling some type of way about her. So that's what I would do. I would tell you to get a divorce and move on. Yeah. Drop your opinions down in the comments. All right. Moving on. All right, society, that is it for this freaking video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, and comment because y'all know that I love to read y'all beautiful comments, okay? And if you're new, hi, please subscribe, baby, to all this craziness over here because I would love to have you in my lovely society. And we're growing so fast, it's so crazy. Love you guys very, very, very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!